Affinity comes with a batch process that can use macros. I've got some images here and they're black and white with a bit of transparency, but I don't want them to be black and white. I need them to have a colour. I can quickly do this using the batch and macro feature in Affinity. So let's just go to do that. Over here in Affinity, you can see I've got a library here and I've got a macro. But at the moment, I've actually got no macro to actually save to the library. So File and Open. Let's just go with this. And you can see I've done this in an earlier video. I'm just going to go to another folder of these files. And this one I was just showing you, this one. Just open one of the files. So I'm just going to select this one. Could be any of them. And click Open. And you can see I've got here some transparency. And also I've got this black image, a black and white image. What I want is something red there. So just going to go over here to the macro, and you can find all these in Window and just down here to Pixel. Weirdly, it's not in the general, but Pixel, Library and Macro. And just click here. It's all red here to record. Just click that. And then all I'm going to do is just go over here to the layers. I've got this selected. Click Effects. And I'm going to go with Color Overlay. And at the moment it's black. Don't want that. I want something like red, orange, green. Doesn't particularly matter. I'm not worried. I can change that later in the application that I'm going to use a little bit later. So I've got this. And also, I can add a bit more. Let's just go for 3D. Why not? Just because I can. So here's a 3D effect. So you add something extra to it. Not necessary, particularly for the example. And close. And you can see it's been recorded here in the macro. That's all you need to do for the macro. Well, stop it, obviously. I don't want any further, so just go here, stop recording. So stop recording, and now go to here to the library. At the moment, it's not stored here. You need to go here. This option, not particularly obvious, but there's a little plus there. That's what you need. Add to the library, and it will add the current macro steps to the library. So click there, and it will come up and ask me the category, and I'm happy to have the default one, which I think that's about all I've got. And I'm going to go with red transparent. Now it's got transparency, it's got red. Now, obviously, if the image is slightly different, different results will happen. But in this case, this is what I want for this particular file. And most of the files I've got in those pattern sets that I've created years ago, all have got transparency. So click OK. So I could do this with quite a lot of my folders. It would take a long time to do it manually. Now, of course, when you do this, you apply this macro, they're all going to be the same. They're all going to be red. And you can see now I've got red transparent there. And I can close it. So let's just close it. And I'm not going to save it. Don't save, because I'm going to apply the effect when I actually run the macro. So where's the batch process? Just go over here to File, and then New Image Process and Batch Job. So here's Batch Job, and that will go through all the files that you select. You don't have to select them all. I'm going to do that, but Batch Job, and you get this panel. There's a number of options. I'm not going to particularly worry about parallel processing. It's quite quick anyway. So click Add, and just go and select the folder. And you can see here's this. So I can just drag over all of the different files that I want to use. I might not use them all, but this is what I'm going to do with this case, all of them, and click Open. And you can see now they're all added here in the sources. What I want to do is the macro, and that's the red transparent one I've just created. So click Apply. If you don't do that, nothing will happen. You'll run the thing and it will just process it, and the result will be exactly the same file as you had before. I've done that a few times without syncing. But what you can do is make certain you go here. I don't want to save the Affinity file. I have no interest in doing that. But they're all PNG files, so let's just go for PNG. And you can always click here at the side and just check the various options. Don't ask me some of these what these are. BT.2020 primaries. No idea. I'm certain you can find out in the help what they are. But I'm just going to go with the current settings. I think that's all okay. Also remember to position it where you want to actually save it. Otherwise, you will overwrite all your files. It doesn't actually warn you, which I find slightly frustrating. So, because I've done it and it's just gone over everyone. So, go for that, save into and select a folder. Let's just go for, I don't want the same folders there. I'm just going to go to my desktop. Let's just go to the desktop. There it is, desktop. And I've got a batch folder. That's it. Click OK. So now it's set. Everything's set. You've got the macros, you've got the files, you've got the location, PNG format. Everything's OK. Cross fingers, it will work. Click OK. And you can see as it runs through the batch, it does show. Unfortunately, the panel just disappears. So I assume it's worked. But you can always check it. So let's just go here now. Now this is the original. And now I might go desktop, batch, and here's all the files. And it does look like the 3D and also the red/orange colour has been added, which is really useful. I mean, I could do this manually. It would take a bit of time, but it can, if you've got, and I've got folders of 300, 400 files, I don't want to go through all of them. It can do it. Okay, so what am I going to use to actually work with? I've just got this one. Really good application. Maybe not for everyone, but I've really enjoyed using it. Optics. And let's just go in with this. Now, I'm in Optics, and what I can do is just go over here, File, and I'm just going to open a file, and I've probably got one already. Yes. One thing with Optics, and I love this application, it's really worth checking out, Boris Optics. You can get perpetual license as well, which is really good. I think that's a great option. But what you can do, it doesn't allow you to open a file. Create a new file, which is weird. I just think it would be nice if it offered the option for creating a new file that you can fill in. It just gives you the option just to manipulate an existing one. So I've created one. So what I can now do is I can just go down here and I can click on these various things, and you can see there's thousands and thousands of presets. Actually, there's lots of presets. So if you go and click on one of these, let's just go one that's really quite nice. I quite like this one. Say this one. I love a good old radial effect. So radial effect here, and you can see you get lots of presets down the side here. There are lots variations of this. But also you get the parameters over here. And I love an application with tons of parameters. I wish Affinity had more, but obviously go with what we've got. And launch PI 2026. Not particularly obvious what that does, but it does click and open a really powerful application. Now, not always particularly in the way you think, because it's just opened it with something that I didn't think it was going to open with, but you can always just simply go over here, and I'm just going to select one of these ones. So you can see you've got these presets. I think that's kind of cool one. Lots of animation effects. You can actually create the animation as well, which is really good. And you can see over here, nothing's happened. So let's just add that. Yes, add that. Now, it does not seem to override the existing one. I do not understand yet. I've only just got this. So it's one of these ones where I'm just learning as I go. And you can just go over here and delete these. So just delete it. And you can also delete the force and the glowing, well, or not. So I'm just going to keep that. But here's the one I'm going to use. This glowing here. And you've got here large beams. It's got a shape image. And that's why I wanted those files. So all you need to do is just click here. And unfortunately, if you import black, which it would be just black, I find it really quite fiddly to actually get it right. There's the import down here. So here's import, and that's what I'm going to import. Now, I've got these ones. I've done those ones earlier. So what I want is my desktop and batch, and here's the files. And I don't know if I can select one or just all of them. I just always do this. Again, I'm learning as I go. Click open. And with that, it comes up with this. And you can go through this. You can see now the designs, and you can see obviously the alpha. You've also got the red. Now, if this was black, it doesn't seem to work. It just ending up with black. I'm not certain why. So the workaround has been this. And you can go here, full color. That's what I'm going with. You could go grayscale, not so good, full color, and import So it imports everything, though it doesn't appear to, so don't ask me. Click apply. Takes a few seconds to process, but then when you got that, it doesn't actually add it here. Now, I do not know at this point how to actually add it into this set. Please put in the comments below if you've used this application and know, do I have to click generate? I've no idea. But you can go through all of the ones I've just changed in Affinity. Now, of course, I'm using Boris Optics, but you could be using Photoshop. You could be using lots of other applications where you've altered it using this batch process, and you might apply effects like deform or all those sort of things. Lots of different options there. So you've got this, you can see the shape I've got here, replaces the original one, click apply. And then you can see the result there, though to be honest over here it doesn't look particularly much long sparks. Let's go and select that one and do exactly the same and import again and just select those files again. Maybe let's just select a couple. Let's just see, just out of curiosity. Can I just select some? Select a couple. Yeah. No, just doesn't seem like that. Hold shift down. Okay. Let's just go with open there. And again, it seems to have opened anyway. The lot. Very odd. Okay. Apply. 1 of 33. Go figure on that one. And you can see then I can go through this and I've got a circular one. So let's click apply. And now you can see the result. And you can manipulate it in countless ways. There are lots and lots of features. I have yet to work out all of them. Size and things. You can work obviously size Y variations. If only all applications like Affinity, Photoshop, etc. had lots of these options. They do actually make it quite hard to work out exactly. And you can bring, obviously, you've got the other images that are coming in here as well. So clearly that's light variation. Don't know. And size over, colour blends, and so on. And you can see you've got random gradients, so you can just go here, load presets, select different gradients, and I'm going to go with that. Click apply, and then click apply. And we're back into this, and now I can manipulate this further. So let's just quickly go here and just change the particle property. You can see as you click there, you can change that. Change the life again, and you can change the number, but you can see the shapes that you've added. And literally millions of designs can be created with this. I've been doing lots with this, and I think it's amazing. A really good feature for all kinds of visuals, which I'm actually also bringing back into Affinity because there's some really good pattern tiling features. Really create some amazing designs. So that is a quick run through of the Affinity. Let's just go back to here. This feature just via a simple macro, via library and macro here, and selecting a folder. That's all you need to do with the batch. And hopefully you'll generate some great files super quick. Hope you found this of interest. Any questions and thoughts, please let me know in the comments below. And also, have you used Boris Optics? Do you like it? I think it's brilliant. Maybe not for everyone, but certainly in combination with Affinity, it really works really well. And I've been quite impressed with it.